Welcome back to Petology. I'm your host, Blair Malstravich. Now, in the last segment, we talked about what your dog should be eating, but now we're going to talk about what your pets need to eat, and that's your teeth. And joining us right now is Dr. Colleen O'Morrow. Now, tell us how we can take care of those teeth for our furry friends.
Well, there's 4 really important things that people can do. The first is to feed them a really good quality pet food. Okay. And there are many pet foods on the market that are actually considered dental diets. And so I brought a couple of examples of dental diets here. When people are thinking about getting any products to look after the mouth in their pets, they should look for the Veterinary Oral Health Council seal of approval on the bags. And so on these bags here, you'll see the Volhawk seal of approval on them, and that means that these products have gone through testing and actually do what the manufacturers say they do to reduce calculus and gingivitis. And so these diets, Hill's TD diet, as an example of one of the dental diets on the market, has been shown by independent research to be 37% better than doing nothing.
Oh, wow.
So if people aren't looking after the mouth in any other way but feeding a dental diet. So the first thing is to feed a really good quality pet food. It may or may not be a dental diet, but canned foods tend to clump onto the teeth, and they're not as healthy for the teeth if they're only on a diet of canned food. So a hard food is usually preferable, at least a portion of the diet to be a hard food. Secondly, people need to allow their pets to have chew time every day. The chewing is really important to abrade the gingiva, remove calculus. It's pleasurable for the animal as well. The third thing, and the most important thing, but the thing that people don't do a really good job on because they don't think about it, is to brush their pets' teeth. Their pets' teeth need to be brushed twice a day, just like our teeth need to be brushed twice a day. And so if they're not brushing their pets' teeth, they will get periodontal disease and they'll lose teeth because of that. Not only will they lose teeth because of periodontal disease, but they'll send poisons throughout their whole body. And the fourth thing is to have regular veterinary care given to their pets. So just like you go to the dentist, your pet would come in to the veterinarians, and the veterinarian would clean your pet's teeth.
Oh, cool. Now, I would never thought of that. And actually, you know what? I am so rude. I'm sorry. Please introduce this furry guest right here that I forgot. I'm the worst. Tell us a little bit about this pet right here.
This is Muriella, and Muriella was a rescue kitty. She was a group of 9 babies that were dropped off at the doorstep of the place that I was working at. And I fell in love with her and decided to adopt her. So
she's very calm for being on TV.
Mm-hmm. She is.
Now we can't demonstrate how to brush her teeth because we don't have that utensil here with us today. But what are some signs of poor pet dental health?
I think the thing that people should be looking for is well, they should actually be looking in the mouth. So just like they comb their pet and they feed their pet properly, cut the pet's nails, give the pet a bath, they should be looking in the mouth and they should be brushing the teeth. So if you're noticing bad breath, or if you're noticing staining on the teeth, sometimes they might notice drooling, those can all be signs of dental disease. And so it's really important to be brushing the teeth twice a day.
Because the most important thing is we want, of course, our pets to be healthy. Thank you very much for this, doctor. Now we're going to take a look at a spay and neuter clinic that I had the honor of visiting in Sagkeeng First Nation. Dog owners in Sagkeeng First Nation are bringing their 4-legged furry friends in for some important special treatments.
What the process is that they've called prior to, or if not, they come in and they have questions and we provide the education. They come in and we do an intake of the animal, and we're going to be providing spay, neuter, vaccinations, tattoo, dog collaring.
The pop-up clinic is a collaborative effort between East Beach Animal Services, the ARC Project, Earth Dog Terrier Rescue, Hulls Haven Border Collie Rescue, and Hudson Rakedahl Veterinarian Services. But that's not all.
This clinic cannot run without our sponsors, donors, and volunteers, and the community. The community had invited us to come in and help them with their dog population, and we came up with a plan together and the resources, and we pooled it all together.
We'll put the collar on. Without volunteers, it wouldn't happen. You need volunteers, you need people to come out. They spend a lot of time, like not just in one day, it takes months to get this going.
In addition to spay and neutering, the vet will see if any dog is in need of additional treatments that can be done at the same time. After assessment and treatment, the dogs are taken back to relax and recoup.
They're quite comfortable with the owners when they bring them in, but there are times that a dog may be skittish or shy or frightened. That's where we would come in, and we do have volunteers that are quite comfortable, have the education to deal with animals, to bring them in and make them feel a little more comfortable and get them crated.
It's a big day for the dogs and a big day for the volunteers. 12 volunteers made their way from Winnipeg and over 10 from Sagkeeng First Nation, including members of the fire department.
You're up early. It just doesn't start today. It starts weeks. You know, you're preparing, you're bringing out crates, you're bringing out dog food, signs, just getting the money, you know, doing bake sales, any type of fundraising events that you can get done. Takes a long time. Coming out this morning, I was up at 4 o'clock on the road, so it's been a long day already.
These clinics are so popular that there are times they need to be extended for extra days. But no matter how long these organizations are in a community, they are constant advocates for people being responsible pet owners right in their own home.
They can get their dogs spayed or neutered, have their vaccinations up to date, just show responsible pet ownership. Those are the steps to do it.
For more information on any upcoming clinics or how you can volunteer, check out Facebook for the ARC Project or earthdogterrierrescue.com. For Shaw TV's Go, I'm Blair Malstravich. Well, it's time for our expert panel, animal behaviorist Sammy Marr and Dr. Colleen O'Morrow, to answer your questions. First of all, we have an email from Jillian. The question is, what is the best food for my cat?
Well, I would always suggest to clients that they feed a combination of canned food as well as hard food for their kitties. Canned food is important because it has a higher percentage of water in it, so it helps their urinary tract health. And of course, hard food is important too. It's healthy for their teeth and their gums to be eating hard foods. So there are many major brand names out there. I always suggest a dental diet. Because of where I'm coming from, but there are lots of really good brands out there. Royal Canin and Hills are two super good brands that they support the pet health industry through a lot of research, but there are many good brands out there.
Excellent. So now we have a voicemail coming in from Rudy. There's his dog.
Hi there, I'm calling for Petology. I have a little question for the panel on my 2.5-year-old Border Collie Rottweiler mutt mix, Stan. Stan is about a medium-sized dog. He's only about 40 pounds, and he's a good dog. We love him. He's pretty quiet most of the time when just my fiance and I are around. He just chills out with us. Doesn't really say much, and we record him when we leave our condo. Just every once in a while to hear if he's wailing, making any bad noises or anything, and he's really good. He's really quiet when we go. No, what I'm calling about is his happy bark, we call it, and that when people come into the house, he gets really excited, and or sometimes even when we take him places, he gets really excited when certain people come in, and he likes to bark. And it's not an aggressive bark. I've been to dog parks with him before, and I've kind of seen what his aggressive bark is like. But it's more of a conversational, like a roar, 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 like give me attention, I'm so happy to have a bark. So just wondering if you have any suggestions on how we can kind of curtail his happy bark. Granted, if he was a kid or something, we want him to speak up, but he's a dog, and he really likes to voice his opinion, let's say, a little too much sometimes. So just wondering some suggestions on how we can kind of curtail Stan's happy bark. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right. First of all, I got to say, Rudy has an amazing dog impression. The rrr, rrr, rrr. Now, what's interesting, Sammy, is, we were backstage earlier. I think I heard something similar come from one of your dogs. Let's help Rudy out here.
Well, I think that the first thing is to identify why the dog is barking. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like he's barking either from a bit of anxiety, stress, or maybe even happiness, but without seeing the actual behavior, it's hard to say. Some dogs in certain breeds, such as Huskies, are prone to talking and tend to more. But one of the best things you can do is bring out some treats. And as people are coming in or you're going to that place, offering them those treats for being quiet. And you can't bark with a mouthful of food. So that's probably the quick, easy, simple solution would be just offering him some treats for being quiet at that time.
Now, the great thing is, of course, there was talk about a lot of love for the pet. Now, what do you think would be some advice you would give Rudy?
Well, I agree with everything that you said. I would also want perhaps just throw out there maybe a barking collar that you can get really safe barking collars that have citronella in them. When they bark, it gives them a spray of citronella in the face. They don't like the smell of citronella, and it will help to curtail the barking while they wear the collar. That might be another option. I'm not sure if that's something that you would recommend, or
I'd have to say no. But
okay.
I always look at, because the dog's barking for a reason. So if we just spray the citronella, or with a shock collar or vibration collar, it may stop the barking, but it doesn't address the issue as to why the dog is barking. So I always say work with that first, and then
This is the best. This is what I love about this. This is all what this is about. This is a discussion. This is helping people out there. No, it's just giving everyone information. And a lot of times when you're out there, people are going to give you a lot of information about your animals. We know that. It's just like working out. Everyone's got an opinion, right? So the best is to make your decision for yourself, of course, and decide. Now, I have heard, maybe I don't know, that actually sometimes a dog will bark less if he's lying down. Is that true? Or did I just make that up on the spot?
I mean, I've never heard
that
Okay.
before.
This is why I don't give any
maybe.
opinions, because I don't know anything.
I think maybe if they're lying down, they're not
Maybe there's no
physically.
Okay, let's just ignore that I asked that because I'm embarrassed. Let's go to an email from Sandra. It says, my 5-year-old son really wants a pet. We don't have a huge backyard or a lot of money to spend. What do you recommend, and how do I get started with that pet?
I'm going to go with fish.
Fish. Okay, well, we have a fish.
Have a fish. I mean, I think for a starter pet, and especially because it's a child, you want something that's relatively simple to take care of. I think, a dog or a cat is a lot of work. So I don't know, fish come to my mind.
What would you suggest?
I think it really depends on how much time you have that you're going to be spending with the pet, how much available money you do have for the pet. I don't see that there's a problem with getting a puppy from a rescue group or a kitten from the Humane Society or a rescue group, but you have to sit back and decide how much time you're going to spend with the pet and how much money you have to look after the pet as well.
It's very important to be realistic, right? That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
I think when you're going in as a family. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I guess you just have to be honest. Like you said, you have to know how much time you're going to give and how much you have to give and what it's all going to take. So do your research beforehand.
Right.
Is that safe to say?
Yeah, and there's lots of great pets out there.
I said
Everything,
something
fish,
right.
hamsters, ferrets.
Finally, I said something right. So our last question is going to be a voicemail from Rebecca.
Hi, my pet question is about my cat Roxy. After she eats dinner every single night, she goes up to the top of the stairs and yowls like she's in heat. She's not asking for anything. She's not in distress. She just sits at the top of the stairs and makes as much noise as she possibly can for about 15 minutes, and then she quiets down and goes to sleep. Do you know what's going on here? Thanks so much.
I would like to see the recording of the cat singing.
Maybe she can make some money.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you want to make sure that there isn't anything like physically the matter, any type of bowel discomfort or anything like that with the kitty. And I mean, it just sounds like that's the way this kitty is. And
Sometimes that's a good, that's a really good point that I never thought of. Let's talk about that in general. Is like sometimes that's just the way it is, right? That's just sometimes how.
I mean, cats are kind of their own little creatures, and they're very independent, and they sort of look at the world a little bit differently than what maybe we do or what we're used to with dogs. And so sometimes it's as long as you make sure that physically they're healthy, it's trying to just let them be an individual.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show now. We really appreciate you, of course, volunteering your time. But if you want to volunteer your time to be in any of the shows that we do here on Shaw TV, you can definitely email us at createtv@shaw.ca. Now, it's so rewarding to volunteer, whether it's with pets or whether it's with TV stations. Whatever you can do, time is very important. So just use the most of it and have a great time and enjoy your life and enjoy your pet's life and have fun. Now, the one other thing that I want to talk about is this cool fish. Because you talked about it, Sammy, I want to know, we're having a naming contest for this fish on Twitter. Follow us at Shaw TV Winnipeg, hashtag Petology TV. What would you name this fish?
Fishy.
Well, we're really racking up the originality. Doctor, what would you name this fish?
I'd probably call him Beauty.
Oh, Beauty.
I think
See?
he's really pretty.
She wins that one. Thank you so much, guys. Again, now we had a chance to go down and see really beautiful things happening in Sakeem First Nation with Earth Dog Terrier Rescue and other rescues in Manitoba that went down to see all the great things that they did, and they had brought some animals back with them. But as a lot of rescues have, they have a lot of adoptables. So soon we're going to come back and we're going to meet some of those furry adoptables from Earth Dog Terrier Rescue.